The film begins with a girl named Charlotte, working in a restaurant with her friend Helen, and Charlotte goes to a customer who complains about the food and endures it, and he complains about details that are not important to her, such as the way of serving food on the plate. Then another customer hits the bell and summons her, so Charlotte goes to her and discovers that the customer is her mother who came to see her daughter working. The restaurant manager asks Charlotte why she is sitting with the customer, and she tells him that she is her mother, and he is upset because he sees that she left the customers and sat talking to her mother. Then in the evening, we see Charlotte sitting with her friend Helen in front of their house, and a young man passes in front of them, and Helen talks to him and asks him about the food he is carrying. And the young man stands up and offers to give them food if they are hungry. They get to know each other and tell them that his name is Adam. And Helen tells him that he is handsome and wants him to come with them, but Charlotte silences her and asks him if he lives nearby. And he tells them that he lives on several streets away and gives them food before he walks. He says goodbye to them, so Charlotte introduces him by her name and enters the house with her friend Helen. In the room, Helen blames her for not letting him in. She sees him as a handsome young man. At that moment, they see Adam from the window in the street going back as if he was lost. So Charlotte comes out and asks him if he is okay, and he tells her that he forgot his phone and gets confused and does not know how to return to his apartment. Charlotte gives him her phone and sees on the map how to return to his apartment, and she knows that his apartment is next to the restaurant where she works. Adam offers her to go out together to talk, so Helen calls her and encourages her to go with him and have fun. So Charlotte agrees and goes out with him. They go to the park and sit talking and getting to know each other, and Adam is nice to talk to her, and Charlotte feels attracted to him. But when he offers her to go with him to his apartment, she tells him that she is not used to approaching someone in this way before she gets to know him well. Adam understands her situation and tells her that they will be content with a drink together. Then he takes her to a wall and asks her to help him draw on him because he is his hobby. So she grabs the brush and draws with him, and she is happy with what she does. They look at the picture and Adam says, "Unfortunately, everything has an end." Charlotte asks him why he says that, and he answers her because tonight will end and they won't be together after that. Charlotte tells him that it is in their hands to make the night, not the end, and she agrees to go with him to his apartment. They go up to the residential building where Adam lives, and there his neighbor Stacy, who goes down the stairs, meets him and tells him that he forgot the door of his apartment open, thanks her and wishes her a good night. Then Adam and Charlotte enter his apartment. She gets to know his house and talks to him about his work as a painter. Adam plays music and dances together. So Charlotte tells him that 5 years she has not been in a serious relationship with anyone, and that it is difficult for her because she is afraid of separation. They spend the night together, and in the morning, Charlotte wakes up and finds that Adam has woken up. So she calls her mother to reassure her about her. So her mother assures her to bring dinner tonight at home. After the call, she talks to Adam and notices that he is not well, as if he is upset. So she asks him if he is okay, and he tells her that he is fine. But he wants to explain to her that what happened between them yesterday does not mean that they are in a relationship. Charlotte wonders why he told her that even though he was romantic to her and said he didn't want them to be just a night. She dresses and feels insulted and leaves him and leaves. We see her later with Helen at home, and Helen tells her not to care about what happened because this is normal, and many young people do it. After that, Charlotte goes with her friend Helen to dinner with her mother and father, and is surprised that her mother registered her in a dating app without her permission. Charlotte and Helen open her page on the app and feel very embarrassed. While they are sitting at the table, Helen begins to read the messages she received, but Charlotte tells them that she does not want to enter into a relationship in this way, and thanks her mother for what she did. But she confirms that she does not want to enter into any relationship at the moment, and asks her to stop interfering in this matter. Her mother insists on her but leaves them and goes out. The next day, she walks with Helen and Mimran next to the wall on which Adam drew, and notices that Adam added something to the drawing, which is paper blood. So she tells Helen that she told him before that she loves paper blood, and she sees that he added it to the drawing to deliver it with a message. That is, he wants to return it. But Helen sees that Adam knows where she lives, and if he really wanted her, he would come himself and take her with her to return home. At home, Helen tells her that the best way to get over a previous relationship is to enter into a new relationship, and she reads a new message she received on the app from a young man named Sis. Then Helen calls Sess's number, and Charlotte is involved in talking to him. Charlotte talks to him on the phone, and she doesn't know how to start talking to him. So Sis begins to introduce himself and his interests and asks her to come the next day to attend the team's training. Charlotte agrees, and Helen is happy with her approval. The next day, Charlotte goes with Helen, and they sit in the stands to pursue team training. During training, they watch a person wearing an iron uniform for a fighter and performing a dance in the field. Then he takes off the helmet from his head, and it appears that he is a Sis. They are surprised when they discover that Sis is not a player in the team, but the performer of his dances. Sis introduces them to another player named Rudy, and Helen admires him. Sis talks to Charlotte and tells her that his job is to wear the fighter's uniform from the Middle Ages, because they consider him the amulet of the team's luck. And he tries to explain his importance and asks her not to make fun of his words. But she does not control herself and laugh. She asks him why he sent her a message on the app, and he says that he found her beautiful and wants a chance to start a relationship with her. Charlotte challenges him to defeat her in a stadium race, so he agrees and they race happy. Then Charlotte leaves with Helen. The next morning, Charlotte is surprised that Helen brought Rudy, Sis's friend, home, and is even more surprised when Helen tells her that Rudy has offered her to move in with him, and that she agreed. That day, Charlotte works at the restaurant as usual, but without her friend Helen, who resigned. Charlotte returns home and finds her brother Chucky there. Then Helen calls her and tells her that she decided to move in with Rudy today, and that her mother asked Chucky to live with her instead of her. Charlotte is annoyed that Helen decided to leave her and move with Rudy so quickly, especially since Rudy's residence is far away, which means that they will not be close friends as they were, and she feels very sad. Helen promises her that she will always be her friend and embraces her. After that, Charlotte works at the restaurant and feels lonely. And at the end of the day, and while cleaning the tables, Stacy, Adam's neighbor, enters the restaurant and tells her that she was looking for her. Then she received a letter that Adam wrote to her and asked her to deliver it to her. Charlotte is surprised but opens the letter and reads what Adam wrote to her. In the letter, Adam expresses his regret to her and assures her that the night they spent together was very important to him, because for the first time, he was not afraid of death. But the next morning, he realized that he didn't have enough time to live with her in life, because he was sick and about to die, and that's what made him feel sad. So he didn't want to get involved with her. Then Charlotte goes to the hospital and reaches the room where Adam is lying, and finds him sick on his bed. She sits next to him and asks him why he hid it from her, and he says that he was afraid that she would run away from him or stay with him out of pity. He tells her that he underwent surgery where doctors removed part of the tumor. Charlotte is moved by his words, but Adam asks her to calm down and not worry about him. Charlotte grabs his hand and tells that she was angry with him and wanted to scold him even gently. Suddenly, Adam gets tired and the nurse enters and Charlotte leaves the room. That night, Charlotte is with him in the room. Adam calls her while she is asleep and she wakes up and tells her that he can't draw anymore. She sleeps next to him and hugs him to relieve him. The next day, her friend Helen visits them in the hospital, and Charlotte wakes up Adam to greet her. Then Charlotte goes out with Helen to take her outside. She notices the ring in her hand and understands that Rudy proposes to her. She is happy about that. But Helen tells her that she does not have to sacrifice and stay with Adam, and that it is better to make a wise decision and live her life. Charlotte feels a little upset and calmly asks her to go and leave her. Then go back to Adam. Charlotte talks to the nurse and asks her if Adam is allowed to go out on a short round, telling her that they have to take the doctor's approval first, but she doesn't expect him to agree. Since the nurse is sympathetic to them, she hints to them that it is possible to go out without the knowledge of the hospital for a short time, provided that they do not go far and no one knows. Charlotte takes Adam in a wheelchair and takes him out of the hospital, and they go to the beach, spend time together and talk, and imagine what their lives will be like after marriage, and how their 5 children will have children. Charlotte is affected, so Adam hugs her and tells her that she will live the most beautiful life after him. Adam starts to get tired, so Charlotte takes him back to the hospital and puts him to bed. Adam screams and asks her to leave him and leave, because he doesn't want her to see him in pain. Then the nurse scolded Charlotte for taking Adam to a distant place despite her warning, and telling her that Adam was in pain all the time, but he was hiding it, until the pain increased and he could no longer bear it. That night, we see Charlotte with Adam sleeping next to him on the bed, because they are unable to get away from each other. Days later, we see her pushing Adam's chair in the corridor of the hospital and trying to talk to him to entertain, but he suddenly screams and asks her to stop talking and listen to him, then asks her to take him from the hospital to make a trip together in the sea. Charlotte tells him that it is not possible, but he begs her and tells her that he does not want to die in the hospital, and that his last wish is to make a trip with her at sea. Charlotte feels hesitant because it's difficult, and she goes home to talk to her brother Chucky, and he tells her that he had to tell their parents what to do with Adam in the hospital. Charlotte calls her father. He talks to her and tells her that he knows what she is doing, and does not want to pressure her, but he asks her to pay attention to herself, and says that he is confident in her decisions, and he will transfer some money to her account. Charlotte then leaves her house, and is surprised to see Adam standing at the mural on which he was painted before, and he managed to leave the hospital himself. She notices that he added something new to the drawing, where he wrote that he asked her to marry. He tells her not to answer now, but she responds quickly and says she agrees and approaches him. We then see them on a yacht in the sea, where they feel peace and comfortable as they spend time together. That day, Charlotte takes off Adam's hat and touches the wound of the operation and kisses him, telling him that memories remain after people leave, so he will always stay with her. Adam asks her to promise him that she will live her life after him and find someone else she loves and loves her, so she promises him that he will be comfortable and not feel guilty. The day passes, and at night Adam takes many painkillers before joining them on the bed because he was in severe pain. The next day, together, Charlotte thanks him for the trip, and Adam lifts the cover from them, and they talk and laugh like children. But when Charlotte lifts the cover, we find that they returned to the hospital, where their journey ended and Adam returned to his bed. After a while, we see the mural on which Adam drew and the workers began to remove it. At that time, we see Charlotte sleeping in her house on the couch, not moving. Her father comes in and talks to her to reassure her because she hasn't got up for days, so she apologizes to him and tells him that she wants to stay alone. Then her mother comes and talks to her and tells her that what she did with Adam was a beautiful thing. Charlotte is crying and saying she wants to stay alone because she can't get over his death and needs time. Days later, her friend Helen comes to encourage her to get up and restore her life, so she gets up with her and starts eating. Helen tries to get excited to go out with her, especially since her wedding to Rudy will be the next day, and she wants her to attend it. She apologizes to her for what she said earlier in the hospital, when she asked her to stay away from Adam, but Charlotte silences her and says that she understands, and there is no need to clarify the situation, and promises her that she will attend her wedding as she wants. The next day, Charlotte comes out of her house and passes in front of the mural to find that Adam's drawing has been removed from it. She writes with a pen on the rest of her that she wished he was with her. Then we see her at Helen's wedding on Rudy, and Sis comes to greet her and asks her how she is. Charlotte tells him that she doesn't know how to answer this question despite its simplicity. He asks her where she was in the past, and she tells him that she was married, but now she is a widow. Sis apologizes to her and consoles her. So Charlotte also apologizes to him because she was ignoring him, but he tells her that there is no need to justify because he is understanding and feels what she went through. Then he invites her to dance with him, and she agrees, and spends a happy time at the party dancing with him, and begins to feel happy again, especially because she knows that this is what Adam wanted when he asked her to live a happy life after him. And the movie ends. Don't forget to like if you like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you like this type of videos and you want it to continue.